All right, Blue Sox Nation podcast back for week number 2. First week went pretty well, didn't it? Did you guys enjoy it? You had a good time?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. When you win, you always have a good time.
Yeah, so we're 6-1 on the year. The 7th win is up in the air right now. We'll talk about that in a second. But the team looks great. How are these guys doing? What's the feel like in the locker room?
The chemistry's already been developed. It seems like we're getting it done. Our pitching's getting it done, which I think we're at this point. I mean, it's early. We're number 1 in pitching in the league, and I think the reason is we're throwing strikes, and we're getting it done. And we don't have, there's some guys that haven't gotten on track yet, and in a lot of cases we're finding ways to win. I like that. We're kind of playing with some grit. I like that.
So you guys, top of the league. I think Amsterdam is the only other team that has the same record as us. So we're right at the top there right now as we stand. How do you keep these guys motivated? Because obviously there's that factor that comes into play where you're feeling good, you're winning a lot, and some games you're winning in convincing fashion, like that win over Watertown, and Watertown was 12-4. How do you keep these guys motivated to stay hungry and go out there? Because obviously there's always a better team out there that's going to give you a challenge.
Yeah, me and Todd, we're always, Todd's always working with the hitters before the game, and I think that our passion kind of rubs off. I'm always on them to get their mind straight. This is pro ball; they're not used to this pro ball like schedule. So I'm always on them, get your minds right. And again, Todd's always working with them, taking infielders. Phone goes to him, working with him in the cage. I'm doing bullpens. Now I got Nolan on board now, so I can sit back a little bit more. It's great. I can't tell you how great it is. I still haven't given him a big hug yet.
It's coming. It's coming at some point.
But these kids are. This group is. Similar to our group in 2016, when you say there's a lot of guys that are very committed to their careers. I think a lot of them have aspirations to go somewhere in baseball. So I'm finding we don't have to really say a whole lot to them. They're doing it themselves.
And that's always a good thing, obviously,
always
from a coaching perspective. Now, hopping over to Nolan, you just got into Utica, a couple days ago?
2 days ago.
But you played for the Blue Sox. How long? How many years?
I played for them 2 years.
For 2 years?
In 2015, 16, and 17, 18.
Okay. So the last 2 summers?
Did not last summer, the 2 summers before that.
Okay. So you're just coming off a Final Four run to the Division II College World Series.
I am.
That's absolutely insane. Most people don't make it that far. You guys got beat by University of Tampa. We were talking about this the other day. How was it making that deep of a run? Have you made it that far before, or is this the first year?
We were in the College World Series last year, so this was the second year in a row. We're the first team since 02-03 to come out of our region back-to-back years. Last year we just got hot at the right time, but we were so gassed. When we got to the World Series, we lost 2 games in a row, and it just left a bitter taste in our mouth. We knew we were better than that, and we wanted to get back there. And when we went down there this year, you could just see everything was changed, and everyone got hot at the right time. We made a deep run, and it felt great.
Now you're making the transition over from playing to coaching. Is that what you want to do? Do you want to be a coach? Do you want to coach for a college program or a pro team or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I mean, I got injured actually my second year here. I tore my UCL. I had Tommy John surgery. I missed all last year. And that's when I started to kind of focus on helping the underclassmen on transitioning from high school to college because I've already been there. That was my 4th year last year playing college baseball. So once I started doing that, I finally realized, all right, well, I think I want to get into this coaching thing, help out as much as I can. If I can't help out on the field playing-wise, I want to be able to help out on the field coaching-wise.
Now, you, like we said, you played on the Blue Sox before. We kind of made a comparison to that 2016 team. How does this team stack up against the teams that you've been on in the past when it comes to talent level and just overall feel, I guess?
I mean, 2016 we were really good, and I see comparisons already from being here 2 days on how much those teams compare to each other. I think this team that we have this year is really talented from what I've seen in the game that I've been here. We have some arms. We had some arms in 2016, and when you can just throw guys out there that are going to go out there and get you strikes no matter what, no matter if it's your number one guy or your last guy in the bullpen. I think that's huge that everyone goes out there and pounds his own.
And you were a pitcher yourself, so are you focusing with? You're going to be the pitching coach? Are you focusing on the pitchers, helping them get better this year?
Yeah, I don't know anything about hitting.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing about hitting.
Okay, so
I haven't hit in 5 years.
Okay, haven't picked up a bat. All right, nothing wrong with that. So we'll jump over to Coach Todd Cole. So we have assistant coach Todd Cole, pitching coach here, Nolan Freeman, former Blue Sox player himself, and our head coach Doug Dillette. How's the infield looking, man? I know that's your area of expertise. How's it looking? From my perspective, it's been pretty good defensively. We had a few blunders in the last home game that we had against Newark, but for the most part, it's been pretty consistent so far. I mean, you got Tyler Simon at short, who's pretty much lights out. He makes great plays every time. I also liked what you guys did by putting Gabe Sherman at second. I thought he had a very quietly good game against Newark. So how's the infield looking overall, and how do you balance out rotating guys in and out to get them reps throughout a very busy summer schedule?
First, I think our defense has played really well. They've been solid. First, you're right, the last game we threw it around a little bit. But we were.
But that was the first game that I've really seen, at least at home, that it's been like that.
Yeah,
it really wasn't too bad. It was 2 plays right in a row that was a difference maker. But like outside of that, it's been pretty good.
We had a big lead, so it didn't come back to haunt us. It didn't hurt us. But our guys have been solid. You mentioned Simon, and the kid, he's just an athletic kid. He gets to everything. Maintains his balance, good arm strength from the hole. He made a play the other night, deep short. It was a Derek Jeter kind of play. That was a big league play. You mentioned Sherman. Sherman came to us as a shortstop, but I think it's important. I played middle infield, so I think it's important that your shortstops and your second baseman are interchangeable. And Sherman's played a game at short. He's played a couple games at second base. He's hung in there on a couple double plays that we turned here the other night.
You had 2 right off the bat, which were huge.
He looked good on both.
Yeah.
But then again, there's some small things that we can clean up, but the guys know it, and the guys are motivated to clean it up. I think De Leon kicked the ball the other night against Watertown. Pretty easy ball, and he came right to the dugout that inning and said, "Coach, hey, I'm sorry, but I want to work on it." And so that's the kind of kid he is. But I think all of our defensively, from the infield's perspective, they're solid, and they want to work. They want to get better, which is always encouraging to the staff.
Now, obviously, a huge part of all of your jobs is to basically sell the Utica Blue Sox brand to college players. And I feel like you would have the best insight on this. How do you, and I'll let all you guys talk on this one, how do you, and for Todd, I know you just got here, but you have a feel for what Utica is now. How do you market Utica, and how do you attract players to come to Utica and play baseball during the summer? What separates this town, this team, from the rest of the teams in the PGCBL and in the country and the Coastal Plains League or the Cape Cod League?
I mean, for me, you're gonna get better. You're gonna get better when you come here. Both my years when I played here, Doug helped me out tremendously. I just think if you want, there's good leagues everywhere, but like, I feel like if you come here, you know what you're gonna get. It's not a horrible area. I've seen some really rundown areas going to summer ball, and I feel like this is a nice area. But for me, when I got the call, I knew that I was going to go there and get better, and I think that's what is the key.
How about you, Doug? You're a lifelong Utica native.
Yeah, I am. I mean, we've changed. Again, we changed the culture here. This year, we're about strictly player development. You know, these guys want to win. The difference in summer ball is it's not the end of the world if we lose, because they're here to work on their craft, and that's what we're all about. So, part of it was the recruiting process. We wanted to, we handpick these guys. We wanted guys that wanted to be here, that wanted to take their game to another level. And so that's why it makes it easy for us this year, because we don't have to really work on it. These kids are here because they want to be here. But, like Nolan said, I mean, you come here, you're going to get the reps. And this is what me and George have talked about, and Todd during the winter, is, you're going to get the reps. But if we can bring in some instruction that can help guide too along the way, between kids are open to that stuff. A lot of these kids, I was talking last night to a couple pitchers, and one of them said, I learned more from you or from this program last week and a half than I did at school for 2 years, which was flattering. School ball's a little bit different. I mean, it's kind of sink or swim. Where here, these guys get a chance to really work on their mechanics on top of getting the reps and get better.
Mm-hmm. So, the summer baseball landscape for collegiate baseball is very unique, because you pull guys together from all across the country for 2 months to play summer baseball together. How does the recruiting process work from, let's say, your end for when you were a player? How does that all work out? Because I know it's very different. Sometimes your coaches make the contact for you. Sometimes you have to go out there and send emails and call coaches and make that connection yourself.
So my first time getting recruited playing summer ball, I was at Mercyhurst Northeast Junior College. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really know anything about how to get in contact with summer coaches or anything, but the past GM called my head coach at Northeast, and he got me in touch. Mm-hmm. I know that we have our coaches have connections. We send some guys to the Cape. We send some guys to the Coastal Plains League, and once we get guys to go there and they perform, they're always going to want guys from our school. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that helps out.
Okay, definitely. So maybe from your point of view now, it's like switching from the other side. How does it operate from a coach's point of view? Are you, from like a college program point of view, are the coaches marketing their players, or do the players have to go to the coaches and say, here, I want to play, in this league or this league or this league, or can you get me a spot on this team? How does that work from a college program's perspective?
I think from a college perspective, once the coaches understand our message and what we're about as far as developing these guys, and then their kids come back and reiterate, yes, coach, I got better. These guys care about us, and they care about us getting, the one-on-one work, and care about us individually. I think it networks amongst the coaches as well as networks amongst the kids, because these kids come in from, like at Shorter, we have kids and they've got buddies that play all over the country too. So, and they, these kids want to go where they're going to get attention, where they feel like they have an opportunity to get better. So I think it's a network amongst the coaches as well as the kids, and it bodes well for this community. It's exciting.
No, it definitely is exciting. And staying on that note, we also have 3 guys that recently committed to go from JUCO to Division I programs. Luis De Leon is going from Central Alabama Community College to North Carolina Central, and Brenton Phillips is going from Andrew College to Akron, and then you have L.J. Bryant going from Andrew as well to Florida A&M. How exciting is it for those guys to make that transition and for you to be a part of the ride as well?
Yeah.
Especially because both of them are second-year Blue Sox. This is their second year with the program.
Yeah, Brenton and LJ are just such great kids. It's a coach's dream to have kids like that. But, it was tough. They were stressing when they came here. They hadn't finished that process, so both of them were stressed. It's a tough, they're on the phone constantly every day. They're trying to weigh their options and go with the best one. And that's tough for a young kid. Now that weight's off their shoulders. Lou, another great kid, just does his job and wants to get better and works at it and does whatever you ask him. I mean, those 3 guys are fantastic to be around as coaches. Again, coach's dream. But it's tough for some of these kids, because they have they're getting hit from a lot of different angles, and they got to do what's best for them. They got to like the program. They got to go out and see the college and the coach, and depends how much, if they're going to get any scholarship money. And so it's a big move for them. It's like starting your career in business, at the work level. So it's tough. It's tough for those guys. Now they're a little bit more relaxed, which is good to see. But I'm happy for them. I'm so happy for those kids. They're great kids.
No, they are, and they've been contributors for this team for a while. Now, did you say that you started out playing JUCO?
I did.
So making that transition has to be a great feeling, obviously, because you work all the way up through high school. You want to play college ball, and some guys have that option to go to a D2, D3 school or a smaller school, but they don't love that option, so they choose to go JUCO.
Yep.
Or JUCO just fits them the best. Once you make that transition, it's got to be a hard one, definitely, correct?
It is.
But it's also very rewarding, I believe, too. How was that transition for you?
Well, I went to Mercyhurst Northeast to Mercyhurst University, so that was a little easier for me because half the guys that play at Mercyhurst come from Mercyhurst Northeast. And I knew a lot of the guys up there. I played with a lot of those guys my first year at Northeast. But the transition is definitely it would have definitely been a lot harder if I would have went from Mercyhurst Northeast to another school, not in correlation. So I think it was pretty easy, but it was a process. You just
even though you're in that same area, it's still completely different programs, different schools, different
everything's
curriculum.
It's a process, and it's very relieving once you get it figured out. I was going through it over the summer when I was here. So I know what those kids went through, and it's stressful, and a lot of weights lifted off your shoulders once you finally sign to go. So
now, Todd, we've talked about your college journey, like me and you, but let's back it up, and for our viewers here, what was your college experience like playing baseball?
A long time ago.
Yeah. Sum it up quickly.
Yeah, my first 2 years of college ball, I played at 2 different 4-year schools. And my transition, it wasn't that bad. I wasn't too far from home. I was within a couple hours from home, and I got to play. I was fortunate enough where I had the opportunity and the ability to come in and play, so there wasn't a lot of idle time. Some of these kids will come in a red shirt, and maybe sometimes that's tough because they're the star of the high school they left or the JUCO where they left, and come in and maybe they don't win a job initially. So sitting may not, it can be uncomfortable. But fortunately, I had the opportunity to come in and play. So the transition wasn't that bad for me. And then after 2 years of college ball, when I had an opportunity to sign, that big league dream's in front of you, and then you spend some time looking at the competition, and in reality slaps you in the mouth and says you got to be on top of your game day in and day out because there are guys that can play, and we've got guys that can play on our club now, and it's fun to see. It's fun to see those guys come in motivated to work every day, and I think they realize what it takes to get to the next level. We just talked about Brenton and LJ. They're getting to that next level. They know what it takes. So it's fun to work with these guys, and a fun experience for them as well, I think.
So stepping back now to the Blue Sox, we've had a very successful first 8 games now, but if you notice, our record is 6-1. There's 1 win up in contention right now. So to clarify, in Geneva, we traveled to Geneva for a game. Final score was 7-6. The scoreboard was not working, right, which was the main problem. And on our side, our score had 7-6. The Geneva score had 7-7. Now, how did that all unfold? Did we just leave, or what was going on? Because I need some clarification here too, because I've heard it from about 4 different people, and I've gotten 4 different stories. So, what happened there? Like,
you know what? That's the most bizarre game I've ever been a part of, and that's the reason why is the home plate umpire, who is a great guy and a pretty solid umpire. He got drilled in the hand. I don't know if that had something to do with it. I think he broke his thumb, but with a wild pitch. But at one point I went out there. We had, I guess, the guys on the bench were streaming the game, I guess, and they were saying it was 7-7. So it sounds to me like the announcer in, I think it was the 5th inning, called the score wrong. when there was no run scored. And so and he was saying 7-6. So when we got to the last inning, they ended up scoring, and we had a play at the plate. Vincenzo Ches threw this guy out by 3 feet. Didn't slide. Our catcher dropped the ball. Umpire called him out. We argued that. He talked to the other umpire, and they sorted it out, and they said he was out. He called him safe originally. So when I went out, I questioned him, and he goes, they're the official scorer. And so even the guy up in the box, he came out, he goes, no, I know, I got that guy out at home plate, it's still 7-7. So when the game, I protested, when the game ended, we won the game, we knew we won the game, so we finished the game like we won the game and grabbed our stuff and started making our way. Their team just kind of stood there. The umpires talked to them a little bit and then just left. So we took it like, I guess we won the game. And then the next day we find out that they're saying it was 7-7, but we have video, and video doesn't lie. We'll see what's going to happen here. But the game, according to the video, was 7-6 us.
Yeah, so we had our data analytics intern, Kristen, go through the video itself. And I actually watched the first half, too. And I saw it as 7-6. She went through, scored it in detail. It was 7-6. So you travel to Geneva again tonight. How's that gonna go? There's got to be some awkwardness walking in there.
Yeah, well,
because what we were supposed to do was make up those that basically finish the game, right?
Yeah.
But now, since it's an appeal, it's not going to be made up just yet.
No, it's not. They're gonna review it, I guess. According to George, we're just playing a one game. The way I understand it, even their coaches knew it was 7-6. It'll get sorted out, and we'll most likely get the win. But we're not going to go there because we could go there and play, a 9-inning doubleheader. It could work out that way, and be there till 4 in the morning. So we're going there. The league's still reviewing it. We'll find out. I would imagine in the next couple days. We're just going there tonight to play one game, but yeah, it's going to be a little awkward. Hope the scoreboard works.
Let's hope so. We can avoid a situation like that again. So, Blue Sox 6-1, tentatively 7-1 on the year. We're still waiting on that. First place in the West Division this week. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we have Friday we're home against Albany. Doubleheader, making up the game that was rained out yesterday.
Correct.
Sunday we're home against the Newark Pilots, and then I'm skipping over Wednesday tomorrow. Who do we got?
Home against Indiana tomorrow.
Okay.
Off Thursday. Doubleheader Friday against Albany. Saturday at Amsterdam. And
yeah, that'll be a big one. That's a big one. Amsterdam consistently year in and year out is pretty good, as you know pretty well. Are you guys ready for that game? I mean, that's a big game.
Yeah, like challenges.
Yeah.
These guys want to compete. It'll kind of give us as coaches a gauge to see where we are, and what we have to do to get to that level if that's the case. You never know. I mean, Mohawk Valley, we beat Mohawk Valley. It's baseball. We beat Mohawk Valley in rain, cold rain that night, but they went and beat Amsterdam a couple days later. So, it's baseball. Anything can happen. So it'll be a good gauge for us.
So, big week for the Blue Sox. Thank you guys for coming in, as always. We're going to wrap things up here. Blue Sox Nation podcast. Nolan Freeman joining us for the first time. Assistant Coach Todd Cole, Head Coach Doug Dillette. Our games, home games this week, like we said, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, doubleheader on Friday. So that'll start. What do we know?
5:05.
5:05, and then the second game will start. What, half hour?
Half-hour break in between.
Okay, so half-hour break after that. So we hope to see you guys out at the park. Thank you so much. You guys want to point at the camera over there and make it look cool? We'll see you. Have a good one. We'll be back next week here at Paulie's Barbershop for the Blue Sox Nation podcast. Thank you guys again, and have a great one.